Yo, what's poppin', guys? Welcome back to another video. Today's video, as you can tell by the title, the thumbnail and everything, I have a settings video for you guys. I have done, I think, 2 settings videos in the past, but it has been a while since my last one, maybe 6-7 months or something like that. And as far as I know, my settings haven't changed much since then. It's just a few little tweaks here and there, but obviously we'll go through them. But lately I've been seeing a few comments in my videos and in my streams of people asking what for my settings, or what settings do I recommend. So I thought, you know what, it's a perfect time to make this video. I just want to say as well, before we get into the settings video, I just want to say that there's no such thing in Apex, or most games for that matter, as the perfect settings. It's just all subject to your playstyle, what you're comfortable with, and you know, etc, etc. So my main advice would be, just don't copy someone's settings word for word and expect to be like a god or something, because they might not be right for you. What works for somebody else doesn't necessarily work for you. But I mean, by all means, you can use them as like a template to start from and go from there to find out what works for you. Also, I imagine some of you guys, or most of you guys, know who Back Off My Janks is. It's a bit of a side note, but his merch arrived today, so I've got his hoodie. I'll be wearing the hoodie today, so I'll be playing some Octane on stream today. But I mean, that doesn't matter. Just a little side thing. I thought I'd mention I was pretty gassed that the hoodie arrived today. So yeah, I mean, let me know down in the comments if, you know, this video helps you out, if you've been struggling to find your settings or anything like that, or maybe you're new to controller. Obviously this will be controller settings. I am a controller player, I do play on PS4, so if you're an M&K player, this isn't going to be the video for you. You probably have no idea what I'm on about, so yeah. But anyway, I mean, it's enough of me rambling on, just chatting shit. So I'll let this last little clip play out, and then we'll get straight into the meat and potatoes of the video, and we'll talk through my settings. I also want to say as well, if the audio quality when I go into the settings bit is a bit shit, it's because I recorded it a separate time. Just keep that in mind. So what am I doing? Here we go, settings. So obviously, to begin with, is gameplay settings. So all this is very much just personal preference. So crosshair damage feedback, I have none. So I've taken my crosshairs off. Obviously normally they're either on with shield and icon. So if I was to just grab this quickly, you can see when I'm shooting there's like an X that comes up as I'm shooting. To me that just kind of gets in my way a little bit. Obviously I used to use it for the longest, but I mean, it kind of just gets in my way, so now I don't see that the X doesn't pop up anymore. But I mean, it doesn't matter. It's, like I said, this page especially is all personal preference. I have stacking. None of this matters at all. I mean, I have auto sprint on. Doesn't matter. Any more of this? No. So yeah, literally all that is personal preference. So I do have the colorblind mode on. That's something I will show you guys actually. So I play Protanopia. So obviously off is normal. So obviously normal, you have a red like dot. Your crosshair is red. So I find it's not the best because you kind of can't see. It kind of blends in, right? So the red dot just kind of, for me anyway, blends in with like everything, and it makes it a lot harder to see. That's why I'm not colorblind. That's why I don't use this because I need to. I use it because I find the yellow dot a lot easier to see your targets and track your shooting than the red dot. But again, it's personal preference. It doesn't matter. It's not gonna make a massive difference to your game. So yeah, all that's just that. Audio doesn't matter. Again, personal preference. Just depends how much you want to hear of it. The video, this one, I would advise that if you play on like default, which is like 70 field of view, apply. Like, look at that. Look how zoomed in that is. I don't know how anybody plays on 70 field of view. Like, for me, this is so like clunky and just. It's not too bad for like shooting somebody that's right in front of you. But if you want to see like the whole map, or as much as, if you want to see all around you as much as possible, definitely would not recommend that. I would recommend playing between like 90 and 110. I think, you know, that's perfectly fine. You just see a lot more of your surroundings, and it just makes it a little bit easier. Someone's like trying to creep up on you. But yeah, you want the sprint view shake minimal, so you don't want to be like, you don't want your screen shaking as you're like moving around and stuff or getting hit. Just like little things like that. Now onto the controller. Button layout, I use customized because I have a SCUF controller with 2 paddles on the back. One of the paddles that I use for jump doesn't work anymore, so I jump with my right analog stick. But my other paddle still works, which I use to slide. So I still never have to take my thumbs off the thumbstick. It just gives you a bit more all-round control. But I mean, obviously it doesn't really matter, not everybody's going to have a SCUF controller, so I mean, you can easily do it if you play claw or whatever, but I can't get a hang of claw. It just does not, my fingers do not work that way. They will not bend that way. Stick layout, normal. Crouch, toggle, aim button, hold. This again is just a whole personal preference, whatever you're used to using. Now this one, look sensitivity and ADS sensitivity. So default is 3, I believe. Yeah, default is 3.3. So to me this feels very slow. Like extremely slow. Aim wise it doesn't really matter, like the look sensitivity, because you're kind of used to being a bit slower when you're zoomed in. But like the look how long that took me to do a full 360. Like that is way too long in my opinion. So for me, I like to bump it up a bit. I mean, anything like I'd say 4 and above is perfectly fine. Like you don't want to go like insane, because I mean it'd be quite hard to control. Like, you move pretty quickly, you can see around pretty quickly, but for me, I play with a 6 look sensitivity and a 4 ADS sensitivity. It's what I found to work the best for me. So I still have the movement. See, it's much quicker doing a 360. I still have a bit more movement. I look around a bit easier. I can, if somebody's shooting me in the back, I can turn a lot quicker. I don't know, it's just, again, it's what I found works for me. So yeah, get in the firing range for a couple hours or something and play around with it, you know, try a bit of everything. Like, you know, I know I've already brought up Janks once in this video, but for instance, I believe Janks plays on 7.6. Now for me, the 7's not too much different, but the 6 like ADS is insane. Like that, look at that, like, that's crazy. I'm sure obviously, like, you know, you could practice, I could practice with it, but for me I think it's just gonna be insane. Like, there's no way. I don't think there'd be any way possible I'd ever get used to that. So it's gonna have to stay a 6.4 for me. And what else is there? So per optic settings, I just keep it the same. I did try and mess around with it before, but I honestly, I don't know why, but I didn't find it made like any difference whatsoever. I really don't know why, but it's strange. You know, I'm not a massive, you know, nerd about how all this stuff works, but it didn't seem to make much of a difference to me, so I just put it all back to normal. Response curve, I play classic. I know a lot of like the flashier players play with like linear, for instance, because it kind of does exactly what you want it to do, I guess, but you do have to be a good player to use linear. You can definitely practice with it. I used linear for about 2 months. I was okay. Like, I wasn't cracked out my mind, obviously, but I was okay. I kind of got used to it, but once I switched back to classic, I realized how much I'd been like hindering my own performance by not playing on what I'm best at, I guess, or what's best for me. I mean, and I can tell you for a fact now that most controller players, pro controller players and top level controller players play with classic. But I mean, a lot of them play with linear as well, but that's mostly like content creators. They're trying to be a bit flashier. If you want to actually get the job done and get the best aim, I think classic is the best for you. And then small dead zone, you want about as minimal dead zone as possible. Just, you know, you don't want to be drifting too much, especially if your controller is a bit prone to stick drift, which is probably one of the most annoying things you have to deal with as a controller player. But yeah, movement dead zone small again. Inverted, if you play inverted, there's something wrong with you, you're an absolute lunatic. Vibration off on the controller, that's something I would say, it definitely helps. When you're shooting or being shot at or doing anything, you don't want your controller vibrating, right? You don't want your controller shaking in your hands, it could seriously fuck up your aim. So I would recommend taking the vibration off, personally. So, I think that's it. I don't use the advanced look controls anymore. I don't even know where they are. Are they even still in this game? Yeah, there we go. I don't use them. I used to use them, as you can see. I used to use them for a while, and I think either on my first or it would have been my first settings video, I would have been using the advanced look controls. And again, they were fine. You know, it worked for me for a little bit. But again, once I went back to the basics, I guess, I just found that I could find what worked for me perfectly well just there already, you know, just simple couple clicks of a button instead of having to faff around too much in the advanced look controls. But I would recommend it. At the same time, I would recommend, you know, go into the advanced look controls, play around with it a bit, you know, just try and learn what more of it means, try and, you know, don't knock it till you try it. I know a lot of people that use the advanced look controls, like I said, I used to use them for a while, but it's just not for me. I'm perfectly happy with the settings I have right now. And yeah, I don't think there's anything else. I think that is it. I think we have covered everything. I feel like that was very quick, but I believe we've covered everything. So yeah, that's my settings. You know, 6:4 sensitivity, response curve classic, small dead zone. I play with crosshairs off as well. As the only like weird things, I guess, little weird things I can think of. Yeah, so that's going to be it for the settings video. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope I explained everything properly. I hope I didn't rush it, because it did feel quite a quick video. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a like and subscribe if you did. Comment down below if this video was helpful. If, you know, what settings you guys use. If maybe you've changed your settings since watching this video, or if you learned anything new in this video. Or even comment if this video wasn't helpful. You know, I need to know. I like feedback, you know. If this video wasn't good, then I know I didn't explain everything. So yeah, I think that's going to be it for the video. Oh, I'm back to streaming on this YouTube channel as well. So if this is your first time here, or if it isn't, I do stream on this channel again. It is on my days off. I do work like 3 to 6 days a week, depending on the weather and stuff, because I work on boats. But you know, we'll try and get as much streams and videos in as possible, of course. And yeah, that's going to be it for the video. I'm just rambling, talking shit again now. Yeah, leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Have a great day, catch some dubs, and I'll catch you in the next one.
Leaving my mark on this world.
Peace.